Hello, everyone. This is Marilyn, the PNW High Priestess, the Optimistic Oracle, and I am live today on January 7th, 2023, to give everyone a year ahead tarot spread. So, finding out what our year might look like through the eyes of tarot. Now, I want to talk about a couple things really quick. We just got over our Cancer full moon. So Sun in Capricorn, Moon in Cancer. So you have earth and water elements at play right there. Mercury is in retrograde. There are a few other planets in retrograde right now, but Mercury is in retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. So right now there's going to be there should be definitely some checking in with our feelings, checking in with our environment. How can we improve upon our environment? What are the truths that we have been denying about our situations and about self, especially when it comes to getting in touch with ourselves versus, via healing and self-care and self-love and self-boundaries and things like that. So, we're starting off this new year I want to say, an exploratory way for this year. This year is a 7-2-0-2-3. So you have 2 plus 2 equals 4 plus 3 equals 7. So this year's a 7. And the 7 in the tarot is the Chariot card. Now, 7 in itself represents a couple different things. Like it represents wholeness, like both physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, things like that. And it's also a number of, that you bet on 7, but it's also a number that's considered lucky. But it's also a number that kind of represents a life that is free of obstacles, right? Which is kind of coincidental that our card this year is the Chariot card, and the Chariot card talks about overcoming obstacles, recognizing the obstacles and overcoming them, and movement forward, directed movement forward. Now, we're also 7 also represents the collective consciousness, okay? Spiritual awareness and awakening. And Venus right now is in the sign of Aquarius, which is the collective consciousness sign. And when we talk about Venus, we talk about beauty, and we talk about love and romance and grace and all of those wonderful things. So I fully believe, and I really hope that the cards agree, but I fully believe that this year is an awakening towards the obstacles that we have been facing for so many years now, regarding the truths that we have turned our backs on via community and self, regarding the lack of love that is in this world these days, and how to overcome that. Also regarding the fact that, there has been such a disconnection with people the past few years, and such a separation. And so I'm really hoping that this year, the year of the Chariot, we overcome those obstacles as well, and really realize that we are all one. We are all connected. We are all stardust. We are all part of the universe. We all create this one energetic thing. And in the same token, we are nothing. We are so small and so insignificant when we look at the universe itself, right? So the number 7 also represents spiritual development and acceptance, enlightenment, mysticism, all of these wonderful aspects. So we have so many different elements already coming into play, and awesome planets coming into play. And my dogs are about to bark because I think that everybody just came home. You guys, that's enough. But I think that this year could be a wonderful, wonderful changing year if we choose to set it in the right direction of community, love, knowledge, facing truths, working on healing aspect, things like that. So when we talk about all of these energies, especially with the Chariot, overcoming obstacles, and then, you know, just covered a few other things. When we do this year ahead reading, one of the things that, or the thing that I want us to focus on is we're always calling in the energy of 7. We're always calling in the energy of Chariot throughout this entire reading. So this is overcoming obstacles. So this is for the year ahead for everybody. So let's see what the cards tell us that monthly we need to kind of work on overcoming, acknowledging, and overcoming. All right, so working through things like that. All right, so we're going to start with the month of January. And we have our Queen of Stars. I am using the Dreamy Moons Tarot, which is my new tarot deck, which I'm absolutely in love with. We have the Queen of Stars, which represents the Queen of Pentacles, but she's in reverse. So when we talk about the Queen of Pentacles, we talk about growth, nurturing, fertility. It makes proper sense that she's in reverse right now, because we are in the darker half of the year. We are in shadow season right now. We are in hibernation season. We are that seed that's under the ground that is, you know, resting and conserving our energy, because when it starts getting warmer, then we blossom and we bloom, right? So right now in January, especially with Mercury in retrograde, it is a wonderful time to still allow yourself that rest, to still allow yourself to rejuvenate yourself and kind of collect energy for the growing months of the year. We have Imbolc coming in February, Groundhog's Day. It's Candlemas, it's celebration of light. But during this time right now, the cards are telling us that it is definitely a wonderful time to rest. If you, and because this is Pentacles, because it is foundation, you know, that's earth, and that's money, health, education, family, home, those kind of things. If you are, you know, tired of resting and you're feeling a little anxious right now, I ask that you sit down and write out your plan. Okay, create your plan for the warmer months of the year, for the growing months of the year. Create your plan of, okay, what seeds and what direction might I want to go for the year of 2023. Start creating that plan as kind of a seed within you that you're writing down. It's not time to really take physical action on it, but right now you're going to take a mental action on it by creating plans for 2023 in this time of rest, Okay, so let's go ahead and draw our next card for February. All right, so in February, we have the moon. The moon card comes up. So when we look at the moon card is, you know, connect. Oh, and also it's really cool. I forgot to mention, the Chariot card is also connected to the moon and to water. So if, you know, this energies right now that you might be feeling here in January, you might be feeling like you really have to start taking action. Sit down and really think about what you're drawing in intuitively right now, the messages that you're receiving, sometimes during dreams as well. Because when we do talk about the moon is connected to water element, and it's also connected to the sign of Cancer, which we just had full moon in. So, you know, the moon and Chariot in this sense are kind of connected together. But moon, February. Okay, so like I said, moon is connected to water. All right, so when we talk about water, we talk about rejuvenation, we talk about healing, we talk about cleansing, we talk about womb work, we talk about feminine aspect, we talk about intuition. enlightenment, that's the number 7 coming in, that spiritual, that mysticism coming in. And when I draw the moon card in many readings, the moon card is a reminder that, the moon's light, is not its own light. It is a reflection from the sun, right? So we really have to pay attention in February to what we think we are seeing, what we think we are feeling, what we think we are divining. All right. Because a lot of times the moon represents deception. It represents intuition 100%, but a lot of times it also represents deception and non-reality. So, the example to that is when it's a full moon and you're looking in the trees and you see things out in the trees, but in actuality, it's the shadows, out there messing with your vision. So when February comes around, I'd like us to sit back, take in what we're seeing, feeling, doing, wanting to respond on and things like that, and really maybe do a little bit more research before we react, make decisions, come back at, and do. Okay. So I don't want to say second guess yourself, because that's not it, but definitely in February, let's call February a month of research. Let's call February a month of recognizing the deception that is being fed to us by certain toxic persons, places, and things in our lives. And that could be a month where we say, you know what, I'm done with that toxicity. I'm releasing that. Okay. So, finding out that you've been lied to is not always a bad thing. I mean, if you look at it, yes, it hurts, but it also gives you an opportunity to get that toxicity out of your life. So let's look at it that way too. All right. So let's go to March is next. Definitely a day for hot tea. All right. So in March, we have the Ace of Stars, which is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Which is proper because March is our spring equinox, the beginning of the astrological year, the beginning of Aries, which is fire, not earth. But when we come into spring, that is new growth, right? It's new blossoming, because your pentacles are representing the earth and the aces are your newness. So this is new foundational aspect coming into play. It could be new money, new job, new home, could be a new family coming into play. So in March, and that would be pretty right on too, with the birth of so many animals being born in March at that time. It's the time of awakening, basically awakening of the earth at that time. So don't be surprised in March you feel as though, okay, it's time for me to set new foundational goals. It's time for me to really get started in building my path of 2023 here. My first steps happen now of 2023. I've planned, I've seen some truths. Now I know which direction I want to go in. Okay. So that's awesome. And it could possibly be a brand new direction for you that you never thought that that you would choose. But if that's a direction that universe is giving you, go with it. And especially if it brings you joy and financial aspect and health and all of those kind of things, go for it. All right, so now we're in April. Okay. All right. In April, we have the Death card. So I love the Death card. I mean, not only is it beautiful in this deck, but I love the Death card in general. Because to me, and to many, pardon me, it is the circle of life. Death represents life. We have to let go and shed certain parts of us so we can grow and ascend and transcend into this other being, this other phase of our life, right? So in April, when the Death card comes into play, think about, okay, we are now really in the lighter half of the year, right? We are entering this lighter half of the year. It is time. It's time. We're feeling like, okay, I'm getting going now. Now in March here, laying down your path for your foundational growth of 2023, you are definitely going to come across some boulders, some logs in the way, things that you're going to need to move out of the way. Once again, this is the obstacle energy coming in. So we call in the energies of Chariot to help us overcome those obstacles. To overcome obstacles, quite often, you have to release, you have to let go, or you're carrying so much weight that you can't overcome the obstacle that you're dealing with. So come April, allow yourself to shed. Allow yourself to get out in that sunshine and sunbathe, and allow yourself to just shed. Let go of what does not feed you. Let go of that extra baggage that you're carrying on your path, because you don't need it. You don't need it. All right, so let's go into May. All right, May, we have our Two of Wands coming into play. And in May, we have Beltane as well, which is the opposite of Samhain. And at both of those times, the veil is quite thin, and we are walking in liminal space, which is wonderful. I love those times. But when we come to May, and we have our Two of Wands coming into play now, in April, we've let go of some things, right? We have allowed ourselves to release so we could ascend. May comes around and there's decision. There's decision to be made. Okay, you've opened up to the universe, you've released, and now decision based upon or regarding transformation, change. Fire is transformation, change, passion, drive, ego, sex, all of those fabulous things. Fire is also very cleansing and energetic, right? It's action, it's magic, it's manifestation. So when we have the Two of Wands coming into play after that Death card, that's kind of universe's way of saying, good job, very good. Now I'm going to give you a choice here. I'm going to give you a choice on your path of change, your path of transformation, your path of creativity, your path of drive. The only thing I suggest in this case is, if it doesn't bring you joy, don't do it. This is universe's way of saying, this is your choice. Now, if you choose something that's not going to bring you joy, but brings you a whole bunch of financial benefit, really, what's your return on investment in that? You're not happy. Yes, your bank account is happy. And yes, you can travel. And yes, you can pay your bills. And yes, you can do all those things. But that doesn't mean that you carry joy in your heart and your soul with those things. So pay very close attention to this choice that you're being given for this directional path change. All right. And choose something that is for your best and highest good, of course, and something that brings you, joy and the feeling of passion, and allows you to create and be that magnanimous being that you are. Okay, so now we're in June. We are in June now, and June is summer solstice. All right, so in June, we have the 10 of crystals. Now in this deck, the crystals represents swords. All right. So in June at summer solstice, there is going to be another time where there's just going to be an ending of something. Now you have to remember, after summer solstice, we start transitioning back into the end of the year, right? That dark phase of the year. So we start really thinking about, okay, all right, we are heading into our harvest season. What have I nourished up until this time? I've picked this new transformational choice, right? And I'm walking down that path, but something's got to give. Something has to give now. There's something else that maybe, swords is air, it's mind, it's communication, it's expression, it's intellect, it's all of those things, right? So there's something that is still connected to you at this time. It could be an idea that you have wanted to bring into fruition, but maybe is now not the time to do that. We're going to have to kind of cut that. Swords also represent the cutting of cords, the ending of, the drawing of boundaries, right? Um, so when we're talking about this card for summer solstice, as we start phasing into the darker parts of the year, as we start phasing into our harvest season, it would be a really great time to start looking at, kind of taking inventory on what do I have that I can utilize, and what do I have that is extra baggage that I don't need anymore. Ways of thinking that I don't want with me anymore, ways of expressing, communicating that I don't want anymore. There has to be an ending coming in this space, or if, at the least, a huge boundary drawing coming at this space, maybe an ending of connection, of communication with someone that that you are now realizing is trying to block you on your path, might be toxic, things like that. So definitely allow yourself, when universe gives us that sign and says, hey, it's time to release, it's time. And once again, bringing the chariot energy into this 10 of swords, this ending, you're going to need to, with every ending, we also mourn. With every death, we release, right? But we also need to mourn what we're releasing, because that aspect of us, those decisions, those actions have gotten us to where we are today. So it is okay to feel sad, but happy at the same time. Sad, that you no longer are doing those things, but happy because you know that you've ascended into a different phase of your life, right? So 10 of swords is the same, bring in that chariot energy, allow yourself to mourn the loss of, the ending of, the disconnection of, allow yourself to mourn it, but allow chariot to come in and say, okay, this mourning is not an obstacle, it's an opportunity for you to check in with your feels, and now it's time to move forward. Okay, so now we head into the month of July. All right, we have one of my favorite cards, the Temperance card. There's quite a bit of higher arcana coming into play here, which is kind of cool. I mean, it is the year of overcoming obstacles. It's the year of collective consciousness. It is the year of really connecting with our intuition and our inner knowing as well. So it's kind of a cool year. And, we start off with foundation, right? So we're overcoming obstacles of growth, and what our definition of abundance is this year. So we come in July with temperance, okay? And, I don't know about you, but yes, summer solstice, I love summer solstice. But then we come into July, and I'm really starting to feel, okay, now we're transitioning into early parts of, we're going from July, then August, which is early parts of fall, then September. And now I'm starting to feel the real waning of the year coming in. So for me, it makes sense that temperance is here, because temperance is that balance, right? It's a reminder of the balance of give and take. It's definitely a reminder of, once again, what are we harvesting? What are we feeding? What are we receiving? When temperance talks to me, temperance also talks about peace. Maybe take this time in July to be present with the moment, to allow yourself, yes, I feel the oncomings of fall and the waning year, but I also feel the beautiful energies of summer and growth and action still here. So allow yourself to sit in that liminal energetic space for a moment and just be present. Find your inner peace, find your inner joy, your inner happiness, and just allow yourself to be present. All right, now we have August. Here it keeps getting caught. Okay, we have August. We have the Three of Wands coming in. So let's see, July, June, January, February, March, April, May. So in May, we had the Two of Wands. We had that choice coming in, right? And then we had to lessen ourselves of ways of thinking, being, doing, okay? And then we finding our peace, right? And in finding that peace, we start realizing that that choice of change and transformation and manifestation is coming towards us. We start seeing it. We can feel it. Like we can feel it like we're already living it, right? But this is, you know, August is a reminder for patience. Good things are coming, but if you grab at them too soon, you're going to mess it up. So allow yourself to continue feeding the dream, feeding the goal, working towards it, of course. But remember that we have to be patient as well. Manifestation takes time. And you need to be patient. If you rush it, it's not going to be everything that universe can give to you. So just allow yourself to keep working towards it, be open towards universe's gifts, and be patient. All right. And now we move into September. Whoa. Well, that one fell out. So that one is September. And with September, we have the Eight of Stars in reverse, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Now, September is my month. That's my birthday month. It's also the month of Mabon. And which is considered first harvest. Yeah. So I had to remember my wheel of the year here, which is considered first harvest. So also, you know, celebration of wine and things like that. And now I'm second guessing myself and I don't know why. So hold on one second. Yeah, September 21st. Oh, yes, it's also the autumnal equinox, for Pete's sakes. This connection. But when the Eight of Pentacles comes into play in reverse at this time, it's kind of cool because, you know, Eight of Pentacles is about work. It's about hard work. It's about the ability to do that hard work as well. And once again, Pentacles, foundational aspect, right? So it's, you know, it's about doing that work. But because it comes in reverse to me, it's not about not doing the work, but it is an internal recognition of the work done thus far throughout the entire year. So when you move into the autumnal equinox here, I want you to make sure your first harvest, I want you to make sure that you take time to celebrate. Take time to celebrate. We are officially in the waning half of the year now, okay? So take time to celebrate how far you've come, all the work that you've done throughout this entire year, you know? There's another message that it has. Yes, take a break. Yes, do your harvest. Also do another inventory on what you have that can help you sustain the dark use during the darker months. And what you still need to nourish, what you still have left to harvest. All right. So be aware of those things too. Yes, there is more work coming, but now is the time to celebrate how far you've come and maybe plan for the work ahead as well. All right. Now we're in October. Okay. So October, we have our Page of Cups in reverse. Now, in this deck, the pages represent the princess. So the Page of Cups in reverse here is our Princess of Cups in reverse. And pages and princess, seeds, maiden, youth, fertile, vessels, especially with cup being vessel. Because this is in reverse, remember, we had our Eight of Pentacles here, planning for future work, right? Thinking about future harvests, maybe thinking about even growth for, okay, so when do I have to plant my new seeds for springtime growth, things like that. So when the Princess of Cups comes in reverse, this is exactly that. Okay, now I'm heading into the darker half of I'm in the darker half of the year at this point, and cups are that emotion, they're that water, that rejuvenation, womb work, intuition, all of those things. So now internally thinking, okay, what can I plant seeds for? Maybe during my shadow journey, during the darker half of the year, healing work that I want to do during this darker half of the year, things that I might want to acknowledge, my inner being that I really want to love during this dark half of the year, planting seeds for that. Okay, so October, Samhain. And by the way, cup cards represent fall, so that's totally legit there. So when we come into October, that is Samhain, and with Samhain, that is opposite Beltane. Once again, our veil is thin. All right, so maybe planting seeds, this cup of Page Cups, maybe also meaning planting seeds for intuitive connection during the shadow time of year, especially during October. Ancestral work, root work, womb work, things like that. So it's a very good time to water scry, moon scry, connecting with your ancestors and really healing womb wounds and root wounds as well. So think about those kind of things. All right, now we move into November. Okay, November, we have, I love this, we have the 7. Oh, by the way, Samhain, October is also second harvest. And November here, we have the 7 of Pentacles. All right, in reverse. So 7 of Pentacles, if there is a card regarding harvesting, that is it, the 7 of Pentacles. So this is talking about this once again in reverse. So you had the 8 of Pentacles over here, thinking about, okay, what do I have to do next in my work? Thinking about harvesting, thinking about sustainability throughout the this darker half of the year. Then you have your Princess of Cups coming in, planting those seeds of, okay, you know what, you're going to think about our harvest over here and the work that we need to do. And I'm going to say, okay, this work is, ancestral work maybe. So let's plant some seeds for that. And, what are we going to physically harvest to help us work on this throughout the dark half of the year? And then you have the 7 of Pentacles coming into play in reverse, and this is, okay, we have now gone through 2 harvests. We have 1 more harvest left. Let's take our inventory. Let's really figure out what else do I need for this dark half of the year, because I need to get it now. If I don't get it now, I'm going to miss out on some stuff, because rainy season is coming in, cold season is coming in, animals are moving to a different location, things like that. So we have to pay attention at this time in November. We have to get that work done of, okay, now I need to prepare. I need to harvest. So don't be surprised if you feel this anxiety energy maybe of like having to do that fall cleaning, pre-winter cleaning, things like that. That is very normal and very natural at that time, especially because it's holiday season and we're going to have people coming over and things like that. So that's extremely normal. What do you have to put on your grocery list for, gatherings during the holidays, things like that. So that's a wonderful card. for November. Very, very fitting. All right, so now we're in, oh my gosh, we're already in December. Look at that. Okay, so let's draw one for December. All right, now for December, the Strength card comes to us in reverse, okay? Now, with this Strength card, the Strength card is also the 8th card in the tarot deck. So this is very, very fitting that this would be December's card with energies moving into 2024, because that's an 8-year. Very fitting. Now, this card represents, of course, strength. Not only our physical strength, our emotional strength, our mental strength, our spiritual strength, right? But it represents a strength within us that we didn't even know that we had. That strength can be physical, that strength can be compassion, that strength can be courage, that strength can be choosing honesty over deception. That strength can be so many different aspects within us that we didn't even realize we had, right? And because this is in reverse, it's kind of, and using the energies of the Chariot, the card right before it, kind of pushing it forward. This card is, to me, really representing how we have come through all of this year, really working on ourselves, really overcoming obstacles, really allowing ourselves to shed and release, and really taking truthful looks at ourselves and re-evaluating so many times throughout the year of what we need to go. What are my true goals here? What are my true dreams? What are my true aspirations? What do I seriously, for real, need to let go so I can continue forward on that path to receive them for best and highest good? So when we come to this Strength card in reverse as an ending and a beginning, because 8 is eternity, as an ending and a beginning, right? It's really telling me that by the end of the year, in December of this year, 2023, we will hopefully come to a point in our lives where, number one, we realize that we are stronger together as a community. And number two, I hope that we realize that how much we have overcome as individuals, ourselves, and how much stronger we are versus how strong we thought we were coming into 2023. So this is a wonderful card to end it on and begin 2024 on, is this Strength card. And, you know, one of the great things about it is because it's an 8, there's no ending, there's no beginning. It's constant movement, it's constant connection, right? So when we come into this Strength energy of December, this is holiday time, this is connection time. We've had our 3rd harvest now. We're really in the thick of shadow, we're really in it, okay? And we're gonna have to call upon all the lessons that we learned throughout this year and call upon that Chariot card to help push us over the hump into 2024. And when I say call upon, I also mean call upon those friends, call upon those family, call upon that tribe, that team, that group that adds to your force, your strength, your community, and can help you overcome things as well. So it looks to be like a very transitional year for us this year, overcoming obstacles this year, really learning lessons about ourselves and how community does make us stronger if we realize that we are all one. We are literally all connected, and coming back together, you know, overcoming obstacles of hatred and racism and just hatred, just hatred. It's hatred. It's disgusting. It's sickening. But overcoming the obstacles of that and realizing that, you know, there's only one love. There's one love, and we all carry it. And we all every day make the choice to choose to share it or not share it. So open your hearts, share that love, allow the chariot to push us forward to overcome the obstacle of disconnection and because of hatred and fear, and allow us to really realize what love and the power of love can do. Can do so many things, and it can help us shed individually, but it also can very much help us shed as a community, because this is a 7-year. So shed as a community as well, and really all of us individually get in touch with ourselves and intuitively get in touch with others. Looks to be it's a working year. It's a working year, but if we work it right, I think that we can really change a lot of things this year, not only within ourselves, but within our world. And that is your year ahead reading with me, Marilyn, PNW High Priestess, the Optimistic Oracle. And the circle is open, but unbroken. Until we meet again, my darlings, I'll see you on the flip side.